Hey, what is up, guys? CSGN here, and today gonna be talking about Madden 22. More importantly, the Madden 22 plans for this channel, and we're gonna get right into it. I have a couple teams that I think that we're gonna go for here for our Madden 22 franchise this year. Once again, you know me. Once we get a certain point in the franchise, and it sort of just becomes too easy, and we eventually do win a Super Bowl, whenever that happens, I always like to then start a second franchise. Always think that's something that's nice to do. Keeps things fresh for you throughout the year, I think. That's always something that's fun to do, because if you keep just doing the same thing over and over again, eventually you're just going to get kind of bored of things. So I'm someone that always likes to freshen things up. That's for sure. So can't guarantee this will be our team for the entirety of the Madden 22 cycle, but maybe it will be. Who knows? So I have a couple teams here, not numbered. Just looking for your guys' input on these as I go through them. So number one on this list, the Carolina Panthers. I'm not entirely sold on Sam Darnold at quarterback, and then you have PJ Walker from the XFL there too. So I think that could be a lot of fun. There are some decent pieces on the defense, actually, but outside of that, really not much else on that Carolina team. I think they could be one of the worst teams in the league, actually. Just from an offensive talent standpoint. You do have Christian McCaffrey, some okay receivers, Robbie Anderson, I believe, a couple other guys on there, but I'm just not all that high on them. So I think, once again, I think these past few years I've done teams that are kind of middle of the road, or I think kind of close to already competing. So I think my phone goes off, of course. It's a tradition. So I think we kind of want to go for teams that are just kind of not going to be that good. Another team on this list here, the Detroit Lions, probably the worst team in football. More than likely going to be the worst team in football. So I think that's a team that is definitely going to be on our list that we want to use for a franchise. Something that could take us a while. Something that could take us maybe 2-3 seasons just to make our first appearance in the playoffs. I think that'd be pretty interesting. Number 3, don't have the numbers, but number 3, Houston Texans. Who the hell knows who's going to be their quarterback when the season really starts? We don't know for sure yet if Deshaun Watson is going to be there. We just don't know. That's a really complicated situation. I don't want to get into it on here. That's not what we do here. I don't do that sort of stuff on here. Maybe I will one day. I will talk about those situations, things like that, if I ever switch to that sort of content. But as of right now, not talking about that. Don't want to talk about that. So I think that's number 3. Number 4, the New York Jets. I try to shy away from teams with the new flashy quarterbacks, because everyone's going to be going after those teams. Everyone's going to be using those teams. I kind of like having a franchise that's a little out there. But the Jets, I think, there's some talent on that team, I think, offensively. I think defensively they have some nice pieces, too. And Zach Wilson, that could be a really interesting, there are people out there that think Zach Wilson was actually QB1 in this class. So there's a few guys that I follow whose opinions that I respect. I think TFG, I think he's higher on Zach Wilson than he is actually on Trevor Lawrence, I think. And, Zach Wilson looks like he has all the tools to be a really great quarterback when you watch the tape of him and things like that. And people who are smart and know these things better than I do think he could be that good. So I think that's a team that could be really interesting to go after. Once again, another team that I think could take us a little bit to get into the playoffs. That's what I'm looking for this year. I think I want an actual building project where my fingerprints are across the team, where I really do have to go to work here and build the team up. So then number 5, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the Eagles are a little bit interesting because there's a chance that could be a team that's just a quarterback away. I question if Jalen Hurts is that quarterback. One of the things that's also going to decide this decision for me is when the ratings start to come out. It really depends on how highly rated or how lowly rated Jalen Hurts is. If I decide to pick the Philadelphia Eagles, I think if he is, if he's over a 75 overall, or a 75 overall, really, I'm probably not going to pick the Eagles for the simple fact, the way Madden really works, I think, and this kind of goes for the Jets too, once you get a quarterback over just a certain ratings threshold, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, it's really easy to dominate in this game with the quarterback. It just is. There's certain ratings that just once those ratings are met, once you have those ratings, once you're up a certain threshold, you're going to just have a really easy time using those quarterbacks because they're just too good. There's certain ratings that are just more powerful than other ratings in Madden. That's the way it is. So I think that's a situation where, yeah, I have to see the ratings first. I have to see the final ratings first before I'm really sure where we're going to go here. And then we have the Panthers at 1, the Lions at 2, the Texans at 3, the Jets at 4, the Eagles at 5. Number 6 here on our list is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, when I played the beta, I did use the Steelers, and like I said, they have a really nice quarterback, or not quarterback, nice receiver room, I think. An okay defense. Offensive line is real shoddy, I think, personally. And then you had the quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger. Probably going to retire after this season, and you don't really have a clear backup behind him. For the first year of the franchise, I plan on using the whatever draft class the game comes with. That's my plan. So, if we don't get, if there's not a good quarterback in that class, we could sort of be screwed and have to play Mason Rudolph. That could be a situation we have to do, or trade for a backup or something like that from another team. That's one of the things that I think makes the Steelers kind of interesting. Once again, I don't really know if they're going to be if they're a playoff team. Personally, I think you take a look at that AFC North, and the Steelers, I think, are pretty clearly the third team in that division. I think you can sort of pick who's going to win a division by looking at the quarterbacks. I think Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, I think those are your 1-2 guys in that AFC North. It can go in between whatever day. You could, pick one of those guys as number 1 and as number 2. And I think very clearly, I think Roethlisberger right now is probably the third best quarterback, possibly the fourth. I mean, you have Joe Burrow there on the Bengals, and I just think you look at that team, and they're sort of bringing back almost everyone, sort of the key position players. I think your offensive line got worse, and then you're going to run it back with Ben Roethlisberger. And I just when I played the game, when I played the beta, it was tough playing with Ben Roethlisberger. Let me just say that. I think they did a very good job. I don't know if that's the final ratings for Ben Roethlisberger, but I really do think, and he's not a guy that's going to go up in ratings that first year. And then that second year, we'll probably have to play with, my phone goes off again, probably Mason Rudolph, something like that. So it actually could be, and we have to build up the offensive line. So that's a team that I'm really interested in. I kind of want to shy away from teams in the domes. That's why I'm sort of I would love to do the Lions. I would love to do the Texans, but being in a dome, that was the problem with that Raiders franchise. I think that's why I got tired of it when I did, is because just playing in a dome is just not particularly fun. You don't really get all the weather things like that. You don't get the sort of a cloudy day, a sunny day, a partly cloudy day, a drizzly day, a little bit of rain, heavy rain, snow, things like that. I always like those sorts of things. I think it just adds a different flavor. I think it keeps things fresh for you as a franchise player who's playing through this franchise. So another thing that we're going to do is, like I said, I don't think I said this yet, so I'm not sure I'm saying like I said, but we're going to hit the ground running when the game launches with franchise. I'm not going to wait for the scouting update, simply because we already start a second franchise more often than not on this channel. So when we do eventually start a second franchise, whether that's in December, January, or whatever, we'll have the new scouting, and we'll be able to play with that. I do plan on actually doing rebuilds this year on the channel. I think we're going to do some of those, so we'll eventually get to play with that anyways on the channel. So it's not that big for me. If we get an update where it says you know, hey, it's going to come maybe the first week of September, then I'll probably maybe hold off on doing the franchise. We'll do some other things on the channel with Face of the Franchise rebuilds, things like that. Maybe, you know, yeah, I think I can't think of anything else that I would want to do, but, you know, this is a pure franchise channel. I don't think I can afford to wait. You know, for all we know, they might come out and say, hey, we have to delay the update until mid-September. At that point, I'm just going. I'm not going to wait an entire month for that update. You know, despite it looking really cool, looks really awesome, I'm just going to go, you know, so we'll probably miss out on the scouting a little bit, but the scouting part of franchise isn't necessarily that big a part of my series that I do. So it's not the biggest deal in the world, in my personal opinion. So that's our plans for Madden 22 franchise. Also going to probably be doing rebuilds when the game comes out as well. I think the way I'm going to do those are going to be live. I think so. I think we're going to do live rebuilds, and then the VOD or whatever, or however it'll be done, will just be up on YouTube for you to watch later. So I think that's something we're going to do. I think that would be really cool to do. And yeah, that's sort of our plans for Madden 22. Really excited for it. Wanted to get this video out now, simply because it's kind of slow for me right now. You know, we're kind of, like I said, Madden 21. We're done with that right now. Playing 2K a little bit, uploading that when I can. I appreciate the few of you guys that are watching those videos. I really do like that. So once again, just kind of here waiting for Madden 22. I do think next year, I think, is going to be really interesting, actually, this time period, because NCAA football is going to be coming out. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I do plan on, you know, doing NCAA content as well. So I think that's going to be really cool for anyone that's a franchise fan. You know, you're going to have 2 football games that you can do franchises on, but be completely different flavors, you know, college and pro. Face of the franchise, don't plan on doing anything with that in Madden 22. Just doesn't look that interesting. I'll probably make a video on that whenever the actual deep dive readout, the text version of that comes out. I'll probably do a video talking about that. So, and my disappointment with that, and how they really need to make a decision on that mode and just really give us a true career mode, but I'll get into that when I make that video. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video, hearing me ramble, all the other good stuff. Leave a comment in below on what preference you guys would like to see me use for my franchise in Madden 22. Once again, we'll do a quick rundown of the teams again. Number 1, Panthers. Number 2, Lions. Number 3, Texans. Number 4, Jets. Number 5, Eagles. And number 6, Steelers. So leave a comment, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to have a good one. Peace.